Get going.
Lindenwood head coach Jed Stugart, the team coming off a great effort at FBS foe Appalachian State 20-13 was that final score. They're part of the first association game of the year when they go to Charleston Southern in the middle of the afternoon on Saturday. So, Coach, just some thoughts about your team overall in general. Then we'll go to some questions.
Well, I think the week 1 to week 2 is a critical time in every season. That's where all the improvements have to be made, and you kind of see the progress and growth from a week 1 to week 2, and that's kind of how our week was last week. We had to learn a lot of valuable lessons that we talked about last week, and and a lot of that was just challenging our effort, our preparation. Practicing with a purpose and not just going through plays. And so we really challenged our team big time last week. Didn't really care about the opponent because we knew we were playing up in an FBS opponent in a hostile environment. And all we wanted to see was effort and how we handled the adversity and the environment. And our guys really rose to that occasion. I was really proud of them, to go into App State, 35,000 people. It was loud. It was all a great atmosphere. I mean, it was a great atmosphere. I mean, I just saw our kids compete, and we created 4 turnovers. Guys stripping balls. We got some interceptions, but what I told our team though is effort kept us in this game. But man, there's still stuff we got to clean up. I mean, we had the ball in our hands at the end of the game with a chance to go down and tie or try to win the game, and we just couldn't finish that drive. But I have to tell you, that is one salty defense. I think App State's going to be very good this year just because how their defense plays. I mean, they are active up front. They fly to the football, and our kids, we didn't handle that great throughout the game, but man, they competed and we hustled for balls. We hustled on defense. It was good to see, and that gives us a little bit. But we can't take our foot off the gas. We still have a team that we got to continue to mature in some areas. Some of those guys really took some great strides. We go back to the East Coast again this week against a good team that I deeply respect. Coach Gabe is an amazing guy, amazing coach, and played Coastal Carolina really, really well. And I think we're both probably sitting there with frustrated teams to see we're this close to upsets. And so they're going to be hungry, and our kids are hungry too. I mean, I think, but I think they know what's out ahead for them, because this is not going to be an easy task to go back out there against a team that played Coastal Carolina really, really well and is a very well coached team.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to some questions. Ben is with us. Go ahead, Ben.
Coach.
Hi, Ben.
I enjoyed watching that game on Saturday. I want to talk a little bit about that. You were talking about effort. That play that Jaden Patrick makes at the goal line there in the first quarter to knock the ball out of the hands of the receiver. What impact do you think that play in particular may have had on your team, the game, kind of the emotion of the place, anything like that?
Yeah, it's probably single-handedly the biggest play of the game too, because at that point in the game, what I'm most proud of with Jaden is we prepared all week. We told them they're going to take a shot on the first play of the game. I think every team we've ever in my career that we've ever played where we've played up a level, the first play has always been take a shot, and we knew it was coming, and it did. And so on the very first play of the game, Jaden Patrick was actually in great position, might have been in position to make a play on the ball and intercept the ball. And, he just got his foot hit the back of the receiver's foot, and he went down and fell down, and the kid caught it, scored a touchdown. What I was most impressed of, a lot of kids on a first play of a game, we talk about what's important now, moving on to the next play and not holding on to those things. And so, when they came back at him and he did get beat on a little bit of a stutter move, he was behind the receiver, but the effort to get and punch that ball out right before the goal line, goes out of bounds. It's our ball going the other direction, tipped that momentum, tipped a little bit of our sideline just changed, because that could have turned the game the other way, where we could maybe start to feel like it was slipping a little bit. And so that was a pivotal play. A lot of coaching moments in that. We use that like crazy about a kid that got, could have really been down on himself, but bounced back. That he knew that they're going to come back at him, and then he makes that kind of a play, and that's what really kind of you could see that feeling of hope and energy on our sideline that gave us that extra boost. So probably one of the more signature plays in that game.
Yeah, yeah, and the defense as a whole, that App State offense, no huddle. The defense was on the field a long time, especially in that third quarter. They go 12 plays, you hold them to a field goal. They go 11 plays, you hold them to a field goal, force 4 turnovers. Just kind of the overall assessment of what the defense kind of went through in that game, and how you felt they performed.
Yeah, real proud of Coach Inama, our defensive coordinator, and his staff to put together a really good game plan and follow that game plan. We knew there was going to be some explosive plays, but one thing like to Jaden Patrick's play, Coach they spend a lot of time emphasizing pursuit to the football. We got a loaf bus and during fall camp, and you don't want to have your picture on it. And it's one of those things where, they drill pursuit. And we saw guys flying to the football, and some of those forced turnovers, they might have got the edge on us or something, but seeing Zach Lewis flying to the football that punches the ball out that we were able to get, and so credit to our to Coach I and his staff of really putting together a great but especially from the week before, you got to instill not only schematically, you got to instill confidence back into a defense when you kind of had the type of week maybe we had the week in week 1. And so a lot of that challenge is getting our confidence back. And that's one thing I was really impressed with of how the defense came in with confidence. They didn't get discouraged on explosive plays. And then our goal was to, let's make the red zone. That's what we emphasized all last week is let's make the red zone a priority, both offense, defense, and hold them to field goals. And that will give us a chance. And that's exactly what they did twice in the red zone, which was huge.
Yeah. And then offensively, I thought there was a lot of resiliency in the offense as well. Nate is sacked 8 times. I thought Rico made some tough catches in traffic. You're without Steve Hall for most of the game. Several 3 and outs, 3rd and longs and everything, but it seemed like they kept battling up to probably the longest 24-yard touchdown pass in the history of football.
24 yards from where the ball was spotted, in yard pass. By the time Nate wiggled his way out of that and got free to throw it from the 50-yard line, on the going right, it was an impressive throw. But anyway, go ahead. Your question.
Yeah, no, but your assessment of how the offense kind of battled through that game as well.
Well, here's the good news. Our team wasn't really satisfied. I mean, they were still kind of frustrated after the game, and I was really encouraged by that because, it wasn't like in the locker room jumping around saying, hey, we held it to 7 points. That there was disappointment because, we didn't execute in a lot of areas that we believe they should know better. We should execute. We got to still we still got to make sure receivers are running where they're supposed to be. That a lot of those sacks, sometimes we think it's the quarterback holding the ball. And, sometimes, first of all, I want to credit, that defensive line is special. And we knew that coming in. They are active. They are, their front seven is very good. And we knew, but problem is when you start getting behind the chains, if you don't win 1st and 2nd down to put yourselves in manageable positions, 3rd and long is going to be tough, and there's going to be pressure. And, yes, Nate has learned, I think one of the things he learned, there's some times where he can get rid of the football and things like that. But again, I wanted to see the fight and on a tough night against a tough defense, how, are you still fighting? Are you still scratching? And then guys made plays and to convert some 1st downs that we needed to have happen. That's only going to, help us build. Now, the question is, do our kids respond to, hey, we feel good about ourselves because we competed pretty well in an FBS game, or do we go back to the basics and stay humble and go back to work and not just think that, we made this big jump from week 1 to week 2. There's still a lot of stuff we got to get hammered out. So, but I was proud of our offense resilience. And, again, Nate's a warrior. I mean, that kid played beat up in the first quarter, out there playing banged up, and and he just keeps coming. And I think the team respects the fact that, and we had a few new faces in the offensive line that had to rise up, and from week 1 to week 2 that, replacing some guys that were down a little bit with injury for a week or two. So I was proud of all that adversity and how they still battled. But the reality is we got to clean up the mistakes. At the end of the day, we were presented with an opportunity to win that game, and we didn't do the necessary things we needed to do executional wise to win that game. And that's something that we were disappointed in. But I'm extremely proud of their effort. That's what we asked of them.
Yeah, and real quickly, Coach, can you give us an update on Steve Hall?
It was a little bit, Steve had a pretty sore ankle from week 1. He wanted to go so badly. I just felt, after the first run, it just wasn't completely there. He could have taped up and went, and Jared's also coming off of an high ankle sprain from fall camp. We came into this game with 3 running backs healthy right now. And we're getting guys back now this week and next where, but it was more, I just kind of told Steve, I said, let's not let this linger on. So he's going to be back. He's going to, it just was more preventative, and he was very disappointed because he felt like he let his team down. And there's no way a kid like that lets your team down. He's highly respected on our team, and he would have went. It was us that made the decision to, let's not let this thing linger. And then I was really proud of Jared Rhodes coming in and Freshwoods, true freshman coming in, with battling, kind of having 2 backs for that game. And they're both a little banged up. So I was proud of their effort and toughness to make it through.
Great. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Ben. One more quick one, Coach, and I'll let you go. Just, you talked about Charleston Southern a little bit at the beginning, but just in general, starting association play, the games obviously mean a little bit more than the other ones because it's for a conference title.
Of course, and it's been a fun little now that we've played each other 2 years, we're 1-1 against each other, and there's like we're both sitting in the same situation at the start of the year. So this is a key week for both programs, to start association conference play, and I think that's how we've kind of looked at it. We know that's how they're looking at it. Last time we were there a couple of years ago, we had to battle a lot of adversity and just getting there with our flight and all those types of things. We have to prepare. I think that's being on the road the first 2 weeks. Our kids are seeing that what a road game looks like now, and that you can only control what you can control. And so, but I just know how well coached they are. I was highly impressed watching them play Coastal Carolina. Their kids are playing hard. They play tough. The defense, their defense is scrappy, and our offense has got to be ready for another really good defense to go against. So, but we're looking forward to, even though it's on the road 1 more week, 3 in a row here, but we're ready to. It'll be fun to get kind of in conference play here.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time as always. Best of luck this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.